Adaz and gentlemen, fellas, I want you to lean in because I'm about to say something that might just change your life. Women love men who do this. When we think about relationships, there's overwhelming focus on what makes a man appealing. What gets him noticed? What makes him stand out? And if we're being honest, most of us jump to the obvious, the flashy car, the charming smile, the sharp suit, the way he commands attention in a room. These things are easy to see, easy to measure. We call that charisma. But here's the truth that not everyone wants to admit. Charisma might get her attention, but consistency keeps her respect. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that you need to be the loudest, the flashiest, the most exciting person in the room to attract a woman. But if you're just a show, if you're just a momentary spark that fades as quickly as it comes, you won't hold her for long. Women want more than just a quick thrill. They're looking for something deeper, something real, something steady, and that's where consistency comes into play. Consistency is what builds trust. It's what makes a man reliable, someone she can count on. Charisma can light up a room, but it's the consistency in your character that will make her want to stay in that room with you. Consistency is not just about being around all the time. It's about being reliable. It's about showing up not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, she can count on you to be the same person day in and day out. And that's a rare thing to find. You see, life isn't all about the flashy moments, the first date, the romantic gestures, the unforgettable nights. While those things are wonderful, they're fleeting. What really matters is what happens when the dust settles. What happens when the excitement fades and the everyday challenges of life start to surface. That's when consistency matters most. A consistent man doesn't disappear when things get tough. He doesn't bail when life throws curveballs. Instead, he stands tall. He handles problems with grace and responsibility. He doesn't make excuses or look for the easy way out. He sticks to his word, and that's what makes him reliable, steady, and worthy of her trust. Being consistent doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're present. It means you're present. It means you're showing up even when it's inconvenient, even when the situation isn't ideal. It means being someone she can rely on through thick and thin. And it doesn't just mean showing up in good times. It means being there when the chips are down, when the world feels heavy, when she needs you the most. That is consistency. It's in the small things, the little promises you make and keep. It's in the way you treat her, not just on special occasions, but every single day. It's in the way you support her dreams, encourage her growth, and listen to her with intent. These are the moments that truly matter. Let's be clear. Women want a man who is steady, not someone who is inconsistent with his words and actions. One day he's all in, the next day he's out. That kind of behavior is confusing. It's exhausting. It's hard to build anything with someone who isn't consistent. A woman needs to feel safe. She needs to feel like she's not constantly walking on eggshells, wondering which version of you she's going to get today. Real men understand that their actions speak louder than their words. If you say you're going to be there, you need to be there. If you promise to support her, then follow through. The strength of your relationship will be built on those small moments of consistency. That's what creates a lasting bond, not the big gestures that happen once in a while. It's the small, everyday actions that prove who you are and what you stand for. And don't misunderstand me. Charisma is important. You want to be attractive. You want to be charming. You want to catch her attention. That's all part of the process. But the difference between being admired and being truly loved is in the consistency. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you meet someone with incredible charisma. They've got that charm, that energy, that spark. You're drawn to them, right? But now imagine after a few weeks, you notice that the spark is fading. The excitement isn't as intense. They cancel plans at the last minute. They make promises, but don't follow through. You start to feel the difference. The charisma is there, but it's shallow. It's not enough to build a future on. Now picture a man who isn't the loudest in the room, who doesn't always say the most clever things or make grand gestures. But when he makes a promise, you know he'll keep it. When he says he'll be there, he shows up. When he listens to you, he really listens. There's an ease in knowing he's consistent. And over time, that consistency builds something deeper. trust. Because when it comes down to it, a woman doesn't just want a man who can sweep her off her feet once in a while. She wants a man who's going to be there when she needs him the most. She wants to know that even on the bad days, even when things aren't perfect, you'll still be there. And that's not a job for charisma. It's a job for consistency. Consistency in your word. Consistency in your love. When you become the kind of man who is steady and reliable, not just in the good times, but all the time, you stop worrying about whether she'll love you. She'll love you because you've earned it. Not with flashy gestures, but with small, everyday actions that prove who you are. And that's what will keep her around for the long haul. There's something magnetic about a man who lives with purpose. He doesn't just drift through life reacting to whatever comes his way. He knows where he's headed and he's intentional in every step he takes. Purpose is the difference between a man who's just living and a man who's truly alive. It's not just a concept, it's a way of life that radiates from within and affects everything around him. A man with purpose doesn't need to chase validation. He doesn't need to seek approval from others or prove his worth through flashy material possessions or shallow accomplishments. He is grounded in something deeper, something that's not dependent on external factors. His purpose is God, his anchor, and his source of strength. This is the type of man that a woman admires, respects, and ultimately desires. You see, the truth is that women are attracted to men who are walking in their purpose, because purpose creates passion. When a man is driven by something greater than himself, when he wakes up every morning with a clear goal, vision, and mission, there is an energy about him that is undeniable. His life is not just about passing time or fulfilling mundane tasks. It's about building something, whether it's a career, a legacy, a vision for the future, or even a family. There's direction. There's fire in his soul. A man walking his purpose is attractive because he's focused. He doesn't waste time on distractions. He doesn't let life's challenges throw him off course. Instead, he views obstacles as stepping stones. He knows that his journey is not always going to be smooth, but he's committed to moving forward regardless of the hurdles in his way. He's not looking for shortcuts. He's looking for the path that aligns with his calling, and he follows it with unwavering determination. For a woman, there's nothing more alluring than a man who is on a mission. Why? Because it tells her that he's secure in himself. He's not looking for someone to complete him or to make him feel whole. He's already whole. He's already pursuing something meaningful. And a woman wants to be a part of that journey. She wants to feel like she's contributing to something bigger than just a relationship. She wants to build together, grow together, and support one another in the pursuit of something significant. When a man is walking in his purpose, he's also focused on growth. He's not stuck in complacency. He's always learning, evolving, and striving to be better than he was yesterday. A man with purpose understands that life is not a destination, but a continuous process of growth. Whether he's reading books, seeking mentorship, challenging his own limitations, or exploring new opportunities, he's constantly moving forward. This thirst for growth and self-improvement is magnetic because it shows a woman that he's not only committed to himself, but also to the future he's building. And the best part, a man like this doesn't expect a woman to drag him toward his purpose. He's already moving forward on his own. But there's another aspect of purpose-driven living that deserves attention: discipline. Living with purpose requires discipline. It requires a man to make difficult choices, to stay committed to long-term goals, and to delay instant gratification for the sake of future success. Women respect a man who has mastered self-discipline. They admire his ability to put in the work, to stay focused when the world tries to pull him in a million directions, and to make sacrifices for the bigger picture. They see the results of his discipline, and they are drawn to the strength that it takes to live that way. Now, don't mistake a man's focus on his purpose for detachment. A man with purpose knows the value of relationships, love, and emotional connection. In fact, because he is so committed to his own personal growth, he understands that real success is not just about what he achieves in the world. It's about the relationships he builds along the way. He knows that his purpose can't be fully realized without support, and he's willing to invest in the people who matter most to him. He sees his partner as an equal, someone to walk alongside him in his journey, to share in his victories, and to provide strength during the tough times. A man with purpose doesn't have time for game. He's not playing around with people's emotions or engaging in shallow relationships that lead nowhere. He's clear on what he wants, and he goes after it. He is intentional in his actions and choices, and that clarity is powerful. A woman can't help but be attracted to a man who knows exactly what he wants and is willing to do the work to achieve it. There's nothing more attractive than confidence that comes from knowing your purpose and pursuing it with everything you've got. In contrast, a man without purpose is often lost. He drifts from one situation to the next, uncertain of what he wants or where he's headed. His relationships become empty because he's not building anything of substance in his life. He may find temporary distractions, but without purpose, those distractions are hollow. There's no depth, no meaning. And over time, women grow tired of that. They need more than just surface level interactions. They need something that will withstand the test of time, something rooted in purpose and meaning. A man walking in his purpose is both inspiring and attractive because he embodies direction, growth, and strength. He doesn't just show up in life, he shows up with intent. And that intent is contagious. It inspires the people around him, especially the woman in his life. When you're walking in your purpose, you become a leader, a guide, and a partner. A man who is not only building a life for himself, but for those he cares about. So, if you want to truly capture the heart and respect of a woman, don't just focus on what you can do for her. Focus on what you're doing for yourself, on what you're building, on the vision you're chasing, on the purpose that drives you. Because when you walk in your purpose, everything else falls into place. Women are drawn to that energy, that commitment, and that strength. And it's not just about attracting a woman, it's about attracting a life worth living. Strength is often measured by what we can do physically, by how much we can carry, how fast we can move, how hard we can hit. But real strength, the kind that sustains relationship, doesn't show up in brute force or in the loudest presence in the room. True strength is found in emotional intelligence. It's not just about how a man reacts in moments of high tension or excitement, but how he understands, manages, and expresses his emotions, as well as how he responds to the emotions of others. A man with emotional intelligence doesn't operate on impulse or ego. He doesn't let his anger or frustration dictate his actions, and he doesn't make decisions based on temporary emotions that can cloud his judgment. Instead, he leads with understanding. He's self-aware and understands not only his own feelings, but the feelings of those around him. He can feel what others are feeling, and he knows how to respond in a way that's measured, considerate, and compassionate. That kind of man is rare, and it's the kind of man women look for. Let me ask you this. How many times have you seen a situation spiral out of control simply because one person didn't have the emotional maturity to respond properly? Maybe it was a disagreement that escalated into a fight because one person couldn't manage their emotions. Or maybe it was a time when someone shut down emotionally, leaving their partner to feel isolated and unheard. Relationships suffer when emotional intelligence lacking because emotions, when not properly understood and managed, can wreak havoc. A man with emotional intelligence understands the value of communication. He knows that emotions aren't something to be avoided, ignored, or suppressed. Instead, he recognizes that emotions are an integral part of the human experience and a key part of any relationship. But here's the difference. He doesn't let his emotions control him. He controls them. He doesn't react blindly to every feeling that comes his way. He takes a moment to understand what he's feeling and why. And when he communicates with his partner, he does so with intention and clarity. He doesn't lash out in anger. He doesn't withdraw in frustration. He engages with his emotions in a healthy way. It allows him to express himself without causing unnecessary harm to his relationships. When a man is emotionally intelligent, he's also able to read the emotions of others. He knows when something's off, even when it's not being said aloud. He can sense when his partner is upset, stressed, or feeling neglected, and he doesn't ignore those signs. He takes the time to ask the right questions, to listen deeply, and to offer his support. He doesn't try to fix everything immediately or make the situation about him. Instead, he listens to understand and meets his partner where she is emotionally. that emotional attunement is one of the strongest ways to build intimacy and trust in a relationship. Another key aspect of emotional intelligence, empathy. A man with emotional intelligence can put himself in his partner's shoes. He can feel her pain, her joy, and her struggles, not because he's experienced everything she's gone through, but because he's able to listen and be present with her emotions. Empathy builds connection. It shows a woman that her feelings matter. It shows her that he doesn't just care about her, but that he's willing to understand her on a deeper level. He knows that emotions are complex and nuanced, and he doesn't dismiss them or minimize them. Instead, he acknowledges them, validates them, and offers the kind of support that makes her feel heard and understood. But here's something that needs to be said. Emotional intelligence isn't about being soft or overly accommodating. It's not about sacrificing your own needs and feelings in order to always please your partner. Emotional intelligence is about balance. He makes her feel like a partner, not a subordinate. But respect in a relationship is a two-way street. It's not just about respecting your partner's autonomy. It's about fostering a space where both people feel heard, understood, and valued. A man who leads with respect is not only respectful in his actions, but also in his words. He doesn't belittle her or dismiss her opinions. Instead, he encourages open, honest communication and fosters a culture of mutual understanding. When disagreements arise, he approaches them not with the intention to win, but to find common ground. He understands that respect is earned, and it's a continuous process. It's something that is demonstrated every day, not just in the big moments, but in the little interactions. Leadership, on the other hand, is about more than just making decisions. A true leader doesn't impose his will on others. He inspires those around him by setting an example. He leads not by command, but by influence. He shows his partner the way forward, not by telling her what to do, but by demonstrating the values, integrity, and commitment that will carry both of them to where they need to go. Leadership in a relationship means taking responsibility, not just for your own actions, but for the well-being of your partnership. It means stepping up when times get tough, taking the initiative, and providing direction when uncertainty arises. But true leadership is not about being the loudest voice or the one who always has all the answers. It's about being a support system, and a steady hand in times of challenge. A man who understands leadership recognizes that his partner's voice is just as important as his own. He doesn't dismiss her concerns, and he doesn't seek to overpower her. Instead, he listens to her input, values her perspective, and makes decisions together as a team. This kind of leadership empowers both partners, allowing them to grow together while still maintaining their individual strengths. A man who leads with respect understands that a relationship is a partnership, not a hierarchy. He doesn't see his role as a figure of control or authority, but as someone who provides guidance and support. He understands that leadership requires humility. It's not about being always right. It's about recognizing that sometimes the best thing to do is to listen and learn from your partner. True leaders know that they don't have all the answers, but they trust their partner's insights and judgment. They create an environment where both people feel empowered to make decisions, share ideas, and contribute to the growth of the relationship. Respect and leadership are closely intertwined. Without respect, leadership becomes tyrannical, and without leadership, respect can feel aimless. A man who leads with respect isn't just focused on guiding his partner through challenges. He's focused on creating an environment where both people are encouraged to grow, where each person's voice matters, and where both partners can contribute to the vision they share. This kind of leadership fosters trust, security, and emotional safety within the relationship. Moreover, leadership doesn't only show up in moments of crisis or challenge. It also shows up in the everyday moments that build the foundation of the relationship. A man who leads with respect takes initiative in the small things, planning dates, keeping promises, being present for important conversations, and maintaining an atmosphere of mutual care and consideration. His leadership is consistent, not based on grand gestures or manipulative actions, but grounded in small, everyday actions that consistently build respect and trust over time. Another important aspect of leadership in a relationship is accountability. A true leader doesn't shy away from owning his mistakes. When things go wrong, he takes responsibility and works to make things right. He doesn't deflect blame or seek to shift responsibility onto his partner. Instead, he looks inward, acknowledges where he could have done better, and takes proactive steps to correct the situation. This level of accountability earns respect. It shows that he values the relationship enough to be honest, transparent, and willing to grow. In turn, his partner feels safe in the relationship because they know that no matter what happens, he will step up and take responsibility for his actions. A man who leads with respect doesn't just give orders. He encourages collaboration. He values his partner's input and considers her opinions when making decisions. He makes her feel like an equal, someone who plays an integral role in shaping the direction of their lives together. This collaborative approach fosters trust and emotional intimacy as both partners know they are working together toward a shared vision. In conclusion, respect and leadership are the pillars of a strong, enduring relationship. Without respect, a relationship cannot survive. And without leadership, it cannot thrive. A man who demonstrates both of these qualities creates a partnership that is built on trust, communication, and mutual growth. He understands that leadership is not about control. It's about guidance, support, and collaboration. He leads by example, and through his actions, he earns respect. In doing so, he becomes the kind of partner who not only attracts a woman's love, but keeps it by being the steady, reliable force that supports, nurtures, and empowers both people to be their best selves. Consistency and reliability are often undervalued, fast-paced, instant gratification world. We live in a time where everything is expected to happen quickly, from communication to success, and in many relationships, the need for immediate results can lead to unrealistic expectations. However, when it comes to relationships, there's a deep, powerful truth that consistency and reliability build the foundation for lasting connections. A man who demonstrates these qualities is someone who not only shows up, but shows up consistently, day after day, in a way that earns trust and fosters security. Think about it. Relationships are built on trust, and trust is built over time. It's not something that can be bought or rushed. Trust is the result of consistent actions over the long term, the kind of actions that prove to your partner that you can be counted on, that your word is your bond, and that you are reliable when it matters most. A man who is consistent doesn't just show up when it's convenient or easy. He shows up when it's difficult, when it's inconvenient, and when the world around them is falling apart. He shows up not just for the good times, but also for the tough times. This level of consistent security that no fleeting gestures of romance or grand gestures of romance or grand gestures can replicate. Reliability is crucial because it ensures that your partner can depend on you, whether it's being there for her when she needs you, following through on promises, or offering support when she's struggling. A reliable man is one who stands firm no matter what the situation. He doesn't say one thing and do another. He keeps his word. When he promises something, his partner knows that it's as good as done. This kind of reliability builds a level of trust that allows both partners to feel safe and valued in the relationship. Women especially are attracted to men who are reliable because it speaks to their emotional stability. A reliable man doesn't bring chaos into a relationship. He doesn't make any promises or disappear when things get hard. He creates a foundation of stability where both partners know that they can count on each other, that no matter what happens, they will be there for one another. This reliability is not about perfection. No one is perfect, but about consistency in behavior, in attitude, and in actions over time. In conclusion, consistency and reliability are two of the most important qualities a man can offer in a relationship. They create the foundation for trust, stability, and emotional security. A man who is consistent in his actions, in his support, and in his commitment to growth becomes the kind of partner who not only attracts a woman's love, but sustains it through steady, reliable effort. He shows up every day, no matter what, proving that love isn't just about fleeting moments. It's about the long-term dedication and effort to build something meaningful. In conclusion, the qualities that women truly admire in men are not just about superficial traits or momentary gestures. They are about character, emotional depth, and the ability to show up in meaningful ways day after day. A man who demonstrates strength, emotional intelligence, respect, leadership, and consistency builds a relationship based on trust, mutual growth, and unwavering commitment. These qualities are not just attractive. They are essential for a partnership that thrives, endures, and stands the test of time. When a man leads with emotional intelligence, respects his partner as an equal, and shows consistent reliability, he becomes a pillar of support, understanding, and stability. He doesn't just provide for his partner's needs, but he nurtures the emotional foundation of the relationship, creating a space where both partners feel valued, heard, and empowered. In doing so, he becomes not just a partner, but a true leader, someone who inspires, strengthens, and builds a bond that lasts through both the highs and lows of life. Women love men who show up, not just in the big moments, but in the small, everyday actions that prove their commitment and their depth of character. These are the men who create lasting, loving relationships grounded in respect, trust, and a shared vision for the future. A man who embodies these qualities doesn't have to search for love. He will find them because he is the kind of man who naturally attracts and nurtures the love that lasts a lifetime.